Leo didn't just like April Fool's Day. Nah, he lived for it. In the small, fog-choked town of Oakhaven, he was a seasonal menace. He'd spent weeks prepping, itching powder in the choir robes, vinegar in the diner syrup dispensers, and a sophisticated tripwire that sent a bucket of pig's blood over the mayor's porch. By noon, the town was a minefield of frustration. Leo watched from the shadows of the town square, his phone recording every scream. But as the sun dipped low, casting long skeletal shadows across the cobblestones, the atmosphere shifted. The laughter he expected to hear from the victims never came. Instead, the town went deathly silent. At 6 p.m., Leo found a small, neon green envelope tucked under his windshield wiper. Inside was a single card. The ultimate prank is the one you don't see coming. Meet us at the old mill at sundown. Signed, The Town. Leo smirked. He thought that it was a counter prank. Amateurs, he muttered, driving toward the jagged silhouette of the abandoned mill. The building smelled of wet rot and ancient dust. As he stepped inside, the heavy iron door slammed shut behind him, locking with a definitive clack. "Hey, very funny, guys," Leo shouted, his voice echoing off the timber beams. Suddenly, a projector flickered to life on the far wall. It wasn't a video of his pranks. It was a live feed of his own bedroom. A figure sat on his bed, wearing a hyper-realistic rubber mask of Leo's own face. The other Leo looked at the camera and winked. "April Fools," 1,000 voices whispered simultaneously. Not from the room, but from the walls themselves. The floorboards beneath him began to shift. Leo realized with a jolt of horror that the floor was actually a massive painted canvas. It ripped away, dropping him into a shallow pit lined with mirrors. As Leo scrambled to stand, he saw the townspeople peering down from the rafters. They weren't angry. They were wearing masks, perfect porcelain replicas of Leo's face. Hundreds of Leo stared down at him with unblinking eyes. The mayor stepped forward, holding a heavy jar of industrial strength adhesive and a scalpel. "You taught us that identity is just a joke, Leo," the mayor said, his voice muffled by the mask. "So, we decided to make the joke permanent. If everyone is Leo, then the real Leo doesn't need to exist anymore." They descended into the pit. Leo screamed, but the sound was drowned out by the rhythmic chanting of his own name. The next morning, Leo walked out of the mill, whistling a jaunty tune. He went to the diner, sat in his usual booth, and ordered coffee. He looked identical to the boy who had terrorized the town the day before, except for one detail. His smile was stitched into a permanent, wide grin, and his eyes never once closed. The real Leo was still at the mill. Or rather, pieces of him were tucked into the crawl spaces while the skin lived on, performing the greatest prank of all. A life that he no longer owned.